make some moves. All right, next story. Hey, people are thinking maybe Sony will try a discless PlayStation 6, huh?
Yeah, so Layden, talking to Kiwi Talks, Sean Layden, former PlayStation CEO, said while Xbox has found success in the regard of all digital, PlayStation has such a large market share that would be shutting out too many people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Sony can get away with it now. I think Xbox has much more success in pursuing that strategy, but Xbox is mostly successful in their business in a clutch of countries. The US, Canada, UK, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, coincidentally enough, all English speaking countries. Sony, which is in the number one platform, is probably 170 countries around the world, has an obligation or responsibility to say, if we go discless, how much of my market is not able to make that jump? Can users in rural Italy get a decent connection to enjoy games? And then he proceeds to go into the military and things of that nature. Quote, which part of the market will you be damaged by going discless? I'm sure they're doing research on it, and there will be a tipping point when there's some percentage where, okay, fine, we can turn our back on that part of the market. But Sony's market is so globally huge, I think it'd be hard for them to go full discless, even with the next generation. Um, I think that what is going to happen for the foreseeable future is it's just going to be an option. I think at least next generation they're going to do exactly what they did with the PS5 Pro, which is here's the box. This is what it costs. If you want a disc drive, here, pay us $80.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
I think that's what it's gonna be. Yeah, we were talking about that last episode as well. It's just like I think that's they're going to try and cut costs where they can, because it's only getting more expensive, and the cost of parts and all that is uncertain in this time and place. So I think they're just going to try and make digital consoles, and then just make a certain amount of hard drives to connect to it, or hard drives, disk drives to connect to it, and that'll be better for them, and then people will still have the option.
Yeah, I think that's it, and I do think the market is trending towards more and more digital only.
Mm-hmm.
I think Capcom said like 90% of their business was digital.
Man.
And digital only. Like, stuff like that. I think my big concern is like people like me where like I'm a big PlayStation guy and I have my entire, I buy everything on disc. So it's like, okay, well, when we get to PlayStation 7 and there is no disc drive, where am I at,
Right, and this is going to come down to, what do you think it's going to be? Do you think like Sony will, or other console manufacturers will stop putting in disc drives, and then they'll stop making the physical copies of games, or will people just say like we're just making this digital only until a certain point where the console makers are like, all right, cool.
I think what you're gonna see is like right now where it's like disc drive is an add-on.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think you're gonna eventually see publishers saying, hey, the version on disc comes later. Because Capcom's been doing that with some smaller games. So, like,
really?
For example, the like Marvel vs. Capcom collection, the digital copy came out in September, but the hard copy came out in November.
Oh.
Same thing with the Dead Rising remasters. And that happens with a lot of indie games as well. You'll see, like, limited run games will get stuff like 6 months later as like, if you want it physical, here you go.
You think they'll do that with AAA games?
Oh, totally. Yeah, I have no doubt in my mind. I think Capcom is already testing the waters for it. I think Monster Hunter is so huge that they can't do that, but I could totally see like the next Devil May Cry doing that, where it's like, in fact, Devil May Cry did do that. If you want a Devil May Cry Special Edition, it was digital only, and then the disc version came later on PS5. So
I guess yeah. I was of the mindset that they were just gonna do one hard switch, but like going to digital and just having the disk drive, like it makes sense to that. It's kind of like a step. You're halfway in, and it's like, will you all be cool with this? We put it like 6 months out. Would you be all right with this? Would you be more inclined to just get it digitally and everything's okay, rather than just a hard
and it
switch?
and if anything that gamers have taught me is they're impatient and they'll just buy the digital version.
Yep.
I no doubt in my mind about that. I cannot tell you how many people I know who are like excited for a game, want to support physical copies, but on the other side of wanting to support physical copies, like I will see them Thursday at midnight being like, I bought digitally because I didn't want to wait till tomorrow morning.
It only takes
I'm
one
like,
person in your friend group to buy digitally, and then you're seeing their feed of them playing it and being part of a social, thing. It's a trend for people to go play the game, and then other people want to jump in, and then 6 months from now, has everyone moved on?
I mean, yeah, or like even and even digitally, it's the next day too, right? Like it's
Mhm.
like oh well, all my friends are playing it tonight, and it's like especially if it's a multiplayer game like COD. I don't want to wait till tomorrow morning to pick up the game at Best Buy or Walmart or wherever. I
I,
want to play
I,
it now.
I you know. So I was about to say I'm old. I will happily just wait till tomorrow just to uh, adhere to my sleep schedule. But and, that also appeals to laziness. Like physical, I have to either get it mailed to me or I have to go to a store. Or digital, it's right here.
Yeah,
I just click a button.
yeah. Like I am currently debating if I want to get Monster Hunter on PC or PlayStation, and like the PlayStation version, I'm like, that means I gotta go to Best Buy
Mm-hmm.
and like deal with Best Buy, you know.
There
So
was a time where it was fun to go into the parking lot of Best Buy and wait for the doors to open with your receipt and stand with a bunch of 30 other wackos and wait to get your copy. There was an appeal to it years ago for us. And everyone has that little window in their life where they're like, "This is fun, let's do it." But
yeah.
mm,
Versus, last year what I did is when Like a Dragon and Tekken came out, I just went to Best Buy at like 10 in the morning,
yep,
picked them both up from the like little I ordered online pick it up thing, and then left
yep,
and didn't fuck my sleep schedule.
yep.
So, you know, I yeah, I don't know. A lot of people I know don't buy physical games anymore. And
Mm-hmm.
then you look at these collector's editions, right? Which are it comes with a steel book but no disc inside it.
I don't understand that.
Like it's like okay, what is the point of this? I guess to have it on my shelf, maybe. Yeah.
If you're gonna give me a steel book with no disc, at least actually go through with making a manual again. Let's bring the manuals back.
Nah, man, that's 2 cents worth of paper.
Yeah, so I don't
Um,
know. I'm happy I got a disc based PS5 because games are going to get more expensive, and with this new effort that we're doing at Super Gamecraft, I need to play more games, so I am game flying the heck out of games. So I need these discs. They ain't got one of these. It's Game Pass. Game Pass and Game Pass equivalents are the way to try out digital games. So
yeah, like just yeah, it's Game Pass and its equivalents.
yep,
And they started putting trials into PlayStation Plus, where it's like here, play the first hour, 2 hours
that's
as
nice.
part of your So if you want to check out the first 2 hours of Baldur's Gate 3, well, here you go.
All right, so I lose the
So
first hour to character creation, and then yeah, Baldur's Gate
that
3 is
you
a
can
rough
get
one
to the
for
first
trial
town.
mode.
Yeah, like so I don't know, man. It's like I am so sad to see the change coming because I know how the digital market actually is.
Yeah.
And we are one architecture change away where Sony's like, oh, we're moving to ARM, and then oh cool, my entire PS4, 5, and 6 library is dead. That's all that it takes.
Is there a code on the back of the physical editions or something that you can use to be like put it in and it's like, all right, you get rights to the digital, or like you put your disc in and they know there's some sort of transfer that can happen. They can facilitate if they make that change.
I'm sure they can figure something out.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe like on the disc drive, like they just have you mail them to Sony, and just Sony is getting mailed.
We're crushing all these discs. We don't want these to exist anymore. Give us your disc, and we'll give you a code.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
God.
Well, all right. Yeah. We're seeing the very slow demise of discs. Like what?
There were a couple of movie studios who stopped supporting disc now.
Yeah. Man. All right.
Yeah. All right. Well.
Yar is all I have to say. At some point, you want to talk about some form of ownership,
or as Mr. Todd calls it, alternative means.
Yeah, it's. Hey, I love alternative means.
I'm a big fan of alternative means.
All right.
That's how I have played a lot of PS2 games recently.
At some level, it's the only way you can, man. It's just ridiculous out here.